What does it take to break through on YouTube? Are you creating content, but it's just not being seen? Well, in today's episode, we are going into part 2 of what I like to call the clarity equation. And we're talking all about YouTube goals, clarity on your content, and doubling down on getting you seen on YouTube. My name is Heather Torres, and you're listening to the Think Marketing Podcast. And if you're new here, we release a new episode every single Tuesday. So I recommend and encourage you to subscribe wherever you're consuming this content. Like I said, this is part 2 of a series that we're doing called the Clarity Equation. And if you've not listened to part 1 yet, I highly recommend going back to last week's episode and consuming part 1. We talked about overcoming objection. There's 3 main objections to getting started and going all in on YouTube. We talked about understanding your reasons, knowing why you're doing this and who you're doing this for. And then we also went into who is your who. We talked about who's your target audience and how do you reach them on the platform. And I'm excited because today we're going even deeper. We're talking about goal setting. What are your YouTube goals? We're also talking about creating your simple content strategy. I call it the napkin strategy, and we're diving into that. And then we're talking about the 5 ways to multiply your success. We're ending it all out by talking about your purpose on YouTube. So we're gonna just dive right into the middle of the talk. Then I'll come back on and I'll let you know about a free class that we have, and we'll do a full recap over everything that you've learned so far. And I've got some additional tips for you after the content. We've defined our objections. We know the reasons why we are in business. We know who we're in business for. And now we need to define the goal. Where are we going? Where are we supposed to be at the end of this journey? What does that look like? What's the next step that we need to be at? What's the next level in our business? What's the next financial level? The next customer level? The next, whatever your goal is, you define that for yourself. But we need to define what's the goal. If we don't know where we're going, if we don't know the destination, how are we going to know when we get there? We don't just get in the car and just start driving and then just decide to stop somewhere. Usually there's a map, right? Like we know we're going from here to grandma's house in here, right? We know the stops along the way. If you're anything like me, I like to plan like every single stop. I like to fill everything in, but you know that destination. And if you're in business and you don't know what the goal is, well, how do you know if you're going to get there? How do you know if where you are is where you need to be? So we need to define that goal. And here's a study by the Dominican University of California. They said 42%, you are 42% more likely to achieve your goals and your dreams simply by writing them down on a regular basis. So yes, I know that, New Year's comes once a year and we write down those goals like, well, I want to grow my business and I'd love to get more customers and I want my Etsy shop to be awesome. But you know what? That's not actually a goal. A goal is tangible. A goal has a number or has an ending point or has a destination. I want to start a YouTube channel and I want that YouTube channel to be to 100,000 subscribers. That's a goal. So you need to define it and you need to write your goals down on a regular basis. On a regular basis. They can't just stay in here because you are more likely to achieve them when you're writing them out. So this is what I want you to do. Tonight, your homework is to write out your goals. It is so important to know why you're doing it, but you also need to know where you want to go. And here's something I want you to know. Your goals matter. Your goals, the ones you set for yourself, they matter. It doesn't have to be your husband's goals. It doesn't have to be your sister's, best friend who thinks you should be doing this. No. It's your goal. You define it, and then you achieve it. So now we've defined our objections. We know the reasons we're in business. We know who we're serving. We know where we're going. And now we need to start creating some content. Because just like Mike said, the more free content we can start to put out in the world, the more customers we will actually attract. if they don't know where you are or how to find you or how you can help them, they're not gonna know that you sell something, right? Just like Mike said when he said he was able to start selling on his shop because he made a free video, that's what we need to do. And we like to not overcomplicate this. When we're coaching clients, we want this to be super simple. So I need you to get your pens ready because this is what your content strategy is gonna be. Are you ready for your 2019 content strategy? Yes? Okay, good. Just want to make sure you're awake and ready for it. All right, here you go. This is your content strategy. You're going to create your content strategy on a napkin. You remember that? Like you're at a restaurant and you're like, ooh, I got that idea. And you like write it down, you get that piece of paper out or like the back end of a check because that's all you have. That's what your content strategy is going to be. You're going to write it out on a napkin. And here are the two main pieces of content that you need. You only need two. You need main content, and then you need supportive content. You need main content and supportive content. Once you define what your main content is, your supportive content is to do exactly what that word says, support the main content. So here's what we do. We recommend that you have a show on YouTube. We recommend you have a show on YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is a search-based engine. And Sean's gonna get up after me and he's gonna go through YouTube for you. But we recommend that you choose a platform online that people who are asking questions, they can find you on the other side of their questions. So you wanna pick a platform, and we are huge, huge, huge on your main content being YouTube, being video form. And then you want to choose your supportive platform. You want to choose your supportive platform. Now, you're going to create a video on YouTube, and then you're going to post a supportive piece of content on one of the other platforms. Don't get overwhelmed. You don't need to choose all 4 platforms. You need to choose Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Pinterest. Now, if you are growing and you have a team, then absolutely start going to more platforms. But if you are a solopreneur, if you're doing this thing by yourself, you do not need to be everywhere on the internet. You need to be in 2 places, on YouTube and one other platform. So if your business is going to be running advertising, you want to be targeting people on the internet, Facebook might be your option. And here's why. Because you can say in your advertising, I would love to target men who love woodworking and also make over $100,000 a year. You can do that with Facebook advertising. So if that's the type of business you want to be in, then Facebook is it. If you're a crafter or you need to show your craft, Instagram might be the place you want to be. That's more of a magazine style platform. Now, this one is amazing. LinkedIn. If you are a person who needs to speak to decision makers, then LinkedIn is where you need to be. If you have a business where you want to be the person who helps the decision makers buy your products, LinkedIn is where you want to be making your supportive content. And then lastly, Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is unique also because it is a search-based platform. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I lived on Pinterest for about a year because that was an amazing thing. You could just pin all day long and you could make your life and it would look so pretty. But here's the thing, it really drives sales. Pinterest is a search-based platform. So when someone's thinking about how do I crochet a blanket, they're going to 2 places, YouTube, Pinterest. That's where they're going to figure out how to do that craft. So that is your napkin strategy. You are going to do a show on YouTube and you're going to pick one supportive platform. Now, the question probably is, well, how many times do I post and what does that look like? And right? All those questions are starting to come to mind. Here's the thing, don't overcomplicate it. Make it simple. I'm gonna post 1 video a week on YouTube and I'm gonna post 1 time a day on that platform. That's it. You're gonna start there. That's where you start. If you walk into this content platform and this content strategy and you're like, okay, I need to post 7 times a day on Facebook, I need to do 2 things on this, I need to create 7 videos a week, I need to go live over here, I need to do this over there, then when are you gonna have time to run your business, right? So we need to start it simple. These are like building muscles. You have to work your way up to posting more and more. And then you think, well, what type of content do I post? The type of content that your customers want to see. Mike was starting with a camera that wasn't even at 480. What? I can't even believe that, right? That he was posting what his customers wanted to see. So you start testing. All social media is a testing ground. You post something here and you ask them, hey, did you like that? You post something here and you say, hey, did you like that? You post something here and you say, hey, did you like that? See how that pattern was? I post something and then I ask them. It's called social media, folks. Let's be social. Let's start asking our customers, what do you want to see? Did you like this video? Do you like this kind of thing? Do you want to see more of this? What type of things do you like? Start asking them questions. And then you'll start to figure out exactly what you should be posting for your business. So we have now defined our objections, our reasons, our who, and our content strategy. And now we're going to multiply all of that by action. Can you say action? Action. Can you say action just a little louder? Action. Great, because that is actually what's going to move you forward. All the other things are great. We can write down on our papers all we want, right? We can watch videos and we can pretend like we're going to move ourselves forward because we went to this and we did this and we do that. But actually what it's going to do, it's going to have us avoid this, the hustle, the work. We got to actually start to put in the work on all those things that we wrote down, right? Because your business doesn't just grow. You actually have to take action. And you don't just have to take little action. You have to take massive action. Massive action. All right, so here are my 5 steps that we coach people through how to take massive action. 1, we need to define the outcome. Where are we going? That's our goal. So we've defined how do we take massive action? We got to define where am I trying to go? Okay, I want to get a YouTube show. Okay, I want to get a YouTube show. That's what I'm going to do. All right, number 2, we need a brainstorm. And this is my favorite part. This is where you get to get your cup of tea, and you get to sit down, you get your journal out, and your favorite pen, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna write. I'm gonna brainstorm everything. What all do I need to do? Everything. This isn't where you hold back. This is where you just go and you write, and you write, and you write, and you write. And you're like, all right, I need to get a cover. Okay, and I need to do this. All right, well, I should interview this person. I need to do this, right? All those things, you write down everything. And then you shorten that process. If you are trying to get to that goal, it's not going to be the fancy things that are going to get you there. It's going to be taking massive action. And I remember when I decided to run my first half marathon. And I was so excited because I was like, I'm going to do this. I just had a baby and I was like, I'm going to get that body back. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm going to run a half marathon. And I never run before. I actually hated running. So I don't really know why I decided a half marathon was the way I was going to do it, but I was like, whatever, that's what I see all these other girls doing, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to run a half marathon. And so this is what I did. I went to Target, and I was like, that's cute. And then, so I got the best outfit, right? And then I was like, yes, I got the outfit. Okay. And then I was like, well, I don't really have running shoes. So I've got to go try on running shoes. And so I went to the running shoe store and, they put me on this treadmill and they were like, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay, so you've got kind of flat feet, so you need these kind of shoes. And I was like, well, I don't really like these. Do you have them in purple? And they're like, no, we have to order them. And I was like, okay, you have to order them. That's cool. All right, so it'll be a week. Okay, no worries. Okay. So I got the outfit and I got the shoes and I was like, well, it's kind of hot. It's hot outside. I don't really like running outside because I actually don't really even like running. And so I should probably get a gym membership, right? I should get a gym membership. So I went to the gym and I sat with the guy and, he walked me through and he's like, you could do this month or a year. And I was like, I don't need a year. I'm only training for a half marathon. Let's not go to a year, a commitment, all right? And so then I had the outfit and I had the shoes and I had the gym membership. And then I was like, well, what time do I run? Okay, well, I got to work from 9 to 3, and then I got to take Keely here, and I got to do this. Okay, so I'll start training. When do I start training? 3 weeks from now I have an opening? Okay, so I'll start training 3 weeks from now. So I did all these things, right? But here's the thing. I actually wasn't running. I wasn't running at all. How do you get to the goal of running a half marathon? You run. right? You put on your shoes that you already own, you put on your headphones, you rock out to Beyonce, and you get on that track. That's how you start running. And so I wrote down all my brainstorm ideas, all the things I needed to start running my half marathon. But what I actually needed to do was just start running. So yes, the brainstorming is important, but then we need to get to the next step, which is how do I shorten the process? What is actually the thing, when I look at this list, what is the thing that's actually gonna move me forward? And then we need to get rid of perfect. I see so many entrepreneurs holding back because they need it to be perfect. And perfect is just the excuse that I am scared. Perfect is a facade. We all know that it's never going to be perfect. So I want you to write this down. I am going to start messy. I am going to start messy. You know why? Because you just achieved your goal, right? You're gonna start messy. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be the way that you want it to be when you first start. I can tell you so many times when you just want it to be perfect and you're like, you know what? I am going to start messy. And then you just do it. You take action. And the last thing you're gonna do when you take massive action is you're gonna remember your reasons. Why am I taking massive action? Why am I saying no to going to Cancun? Why am I not doing these things that I really think I should be doing, but I'm really staying up late and I'm just pounding the coffee? It's because you have reasons for doing this. It's because you know that if you take massive action, that a year from now, you could be in a totally different place. All right, so we have now defined our objections. We know our reasons. We know our who. We have our goal. We have our content strategy. We are multiplying that by massive action. And we are going to have the answer to our equation. We now have a plan. You have a plan. You have a plan for dominating with video. But Heather, what about the camera? I don't care. You're going to start. That's right. Heather, I don't really have time. That's okay. You're going to start. There we go. So we now have a plan. We know are the objections to time, to money, to skill. We know the reasons we're in business. We know who we're in business for. We know our goal of where we are trying to go. We know the content, main content, supportive content, and we're going to take massive action. And remember, this is not easy, but it's simple. It's all in that simple equation. Right there. You have it in your notebook right now. You can start taking massive action today on your dreams. And the other day, we took our family on a kayak trip. And this is really special for me because in the last 60 days, we've brought another little one into our home. You saw 3 kids on the screen there. And it has taken us 10 years to bring 3 kids into our home. I'm sorry, 10 years to bring a third into our home. I was told at 18 I would never have children, that I had a condition, that it was going to be hard, and that I would lose babies. And I lost babies. And then I had 2 beautiful babies. And we knew that having another baby probably wasn't in the cards for us. And so we are a family of faith. And we prayed, and we prayed, and we prayed for another child. Because I know that our family is supposed to be bigger than 2. I know as a mother that I'm supposed to have multiple children, arms full. And I only had 2, which I was so grateful for. But for our family, we didn't know how. We didn't know how it was going to happen or, what this journey was going to look like for us. And so when we got a call
to say yes, we said yes. And we brought another little guy into our home. And we don't know how long he's going to be here, but we're going to love him while he is. And this week was our first weekend where we were able to, as a family, do my favorite sport, which is kayaking. And I got to be in the kayak with my little guy. And kayaking is such a unique sport. And I say sport because my husband is in the audience and we argue that kayaking is a sport, not a leisure activity. Because if you've been kayaking, raise your hand if you've been kayaking before, that is some hard work, right? So we argue back and forth, but I'm gonna say sport, honey, okay? So we're on this adventure. We're out on the water doing my favorite sport. And it's me and our little guy in the kayak. And you know, it's supposed to be a two-person kayak, but it is a two-person kayak and two people are supposed to be rowing, but really it's just me with an extra 60 pounds trying to row. And I love kayaking because you're so close to the water, you're like floating on the water. And I love solo kayaking. In this instance, I had him with me to experience this together. And you know, when I was out on the water, we were out on Lake Mead, and I'm rowing, and I'm rowing, and I'm rowing, and got me thinking that this is kind of like building a business. It's just you and the boat. You may have passengers on board, but you're the one doing the rowing. And every time you push through, every video you create, every new product that you create, it gives you a little bit momentum, a little bit more, right? And you keep rowing, and you keep rowing, and you're like, I want to go all the way out there. And it's far, and you're just going. You're not a speedboat, you're just going. And you're just rowing, and you're rowing, and you're rowing. And that's what this experience, going online, building your business, is gonna feel like. You may be able to rest, right? I know I need to when I'm kayaking, my shoulders get a little, and so I need to just kind of set it there for a minute. But then what happens? Boat starts to slow down. If you're not driving the boat, if you're not rowing, it's gonna stop. No one is gonna make your dreams come true other than you. You have unique gifts and talents and experiences that make you so unique, that make the thing that you are bringing to the world completely unique. There is no competition. You have greatness inside of you. I believe this. I believe that you would not have come to Las Vegas. You would not have left your businesses and your families and your home. You would not have come here if you did not already know, right? You already know. It's in there. It's right in there. And I believe that you have greatness inside of you. You are braver than you believe. And you are stronger than you seem. And you are smarter than you think.
So that is the clarity equation. And we ended on P. P is all about the purpose. When you add all of those things up and you multiply it by action, you're going to get the clarity. You're going to have the purpose for what you're doing on YouTube. And that is how you succeed. When you lay that foundation, when it's not just about the titles and the thumbnails, but when it's really about understanding the underlying pieces of building a business on YouTube, that is when you succeed. And after you're done listening to this episode, I highly recommend that you go over and listen to our Think class, which is our free YouTube class at thinkmasterclass.com. Now, what is this class? This class is all about learning how to do YouTube the right way. This is part of a training that we do inside of our academy, our paid academy. And Cannell, the CEO of Think, goes deep into the 3 secrets of how to be successful on YouTube, as well as diving into how do you get noticed. You know, I think it's really important that we understand that this is different. The YouTube now is different than the YouTube then, and there's more people and more competition. So how do you break through? Well, we teach you not to play checkers on YouTube, but how to play chess, which means having the right strategy, knowing the right videos, and knowing how to break through, which is critical on YouTube. So if you've not listened or watched that class, definitely go to thinkmasterclass.com so you can listen or watch the class. All right, so we have now broken down the entire clarity equation. What do you need to do next? What step of the equation are you on? Do you need to figure out your objection? Do you need to write out your reasons? How about getting rid of perfect? I know for me, that is my biggest struggle all the time when it comes to taking action. Even creating this podcast today, I was overwhelmed. I was stressed out. I was worried about, was this going to be right? And was I going to say the right thing? But every now and then, I just get reminded by our Think team that it's not about being perfect. It's about getting the content out. It's about being authentic. It's about saying what's in my heart and by helping you with the things I know that you need. So, what do you need to do next? Where are you on this clarity equation? And have you figured out the goals that you have for being on YouTube? It's important to know where you're going. It's important to reverse engineer, and it's important to make sure that you're not just creating content for content's sake, but that you're creating content that's going to make a difference. So if you've been encouraged by today's podcast, if you've gotten value from today's podcast, I'd love for you to share this with a friend. You can take a screenshot right now, share it on social media, either tag myself at Miss Heather Torres or tag Sean at Cannell, and we'll see it and maybe we'll share it on social. But I'd love to see what was a big takeaway that you had for today. You can share that with us on social media, or if you got value, you can also share this with a friend. That's a lot of sharing, but I just want to encourage you that if you've gotten value and you know someone else who needs this as well, send this podcast to them. We are here to make valuable content that's going to help you go further on YouTube. It is so important to us to help you understand how to win on YouTube. And lastly, I want you to know that I believe in you. I believe you can do this. I believe that you have a mission. I believe that you have people that you want to reach. And I want to encourage you that you can do this. If a mom of 3 who couldn't figure out how to turn on a camera can make this happen, you can make this happen too. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone to tell you that you are right for this. You already know it. It's already inside of you. So I want to encourage you to get to action. Take action, take what you've learned in this clarity equation and apply it to your YouTube business. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we'll catch you in the next episode.